Hello, everybody. I'm bringing you a little different video from the last few because I need more time to edit because super busy this week, and before I knew it, it was already Friday and I have done almost nothing, so I need more time. So today, oh, and I'm here with Crash. I almost forgot about you, Crash. I'm so sorry. Uh, Today, we're going to be rating some weapons. The usual rating scale, S through D tier. But we're going to do something a little different than most people. Most people rate on how good the weapon is. We're going to do something a little different. We're going to rate them on how fun they are. Now, as we're doing this rating, just remember, this is about how fun they are, not how about good they are. So if your weapon's not S tier because you think it's the best weapon ever, take a deep breath. It's not what this rating's about. It's about how fun it is, how much you enjoy using this gun. And hopefully, as we're doing this rating, it makes you think, well, let me try this weapon out. Maybe it is as fun as they say. And, we can sway your mind away from your favorite weapon that's needs, well, I'm not going to say nerf. People are kind of sour about that weapon. Uh, Anything you'd like to say, Crash, before we get started?
I hope they buff all the guns to have more fun.
Yes, more fun. I agree. Uh, and just before we get started, I'm going to have a poll uh, on my YouTube because I don't want Helldivers to be my only game on here. I don't want to be like some of the YouTubers that are just stuck doing one weapon and have a very niche crowd. So, it's going to be a few things on that poll. Please, 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 just select which one you would like to see so I have an idea of what people would like to see and I can make some content on.
If you want Johnny freaking out in other games, he's good at doing that too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Most definitely. Uh, Scary games are usually pretty popular. I love scary stuff, so I will more than gladly do that. Maybe I'll throw some money at like Outlast or something.
Oh no.
And maybe I'll put a choice on there where me and Crash can keep doing stuff as well. Maybe we'll find like a multiplayer thing to do as well if he's willing as well. So yeah, I'll put some choices on there. Let me know what y'all think. And on that note, are you ready, Crash?
Let's do
All
this.
right, let's go. First weapon we're going to start with in the assault rifles is the Liberator, the weapon every Helldiver starts with. For me, when it comes to the fun factor, I would say this weapon, I'd put it right in A tier myself. It I mean it does everything that we need it to do. And it's fun. It's automatic, shoot stuff, kill stuff. What do you think?
I don't know. It does really good. I feel like A is a pretty good spot for it, but I'm gonna have to put this one in a B tier for fun.
For fun? Okay.
It doesn't have enough rounds to facilitate my fun.
Right.
It needs more ammo.
Needs more ammo. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
think
needs
I
more
think
it needs more fun,
I think
fun
just
downrange.
I think just about everything needs more fun these days.
I'm gonna
Uh
put it in B tier.
B tier. Yeah, I can respect that. B tier. Now, next we have the Adjudicator. No? Yeah, the Adjudicator. One of the newer rifles. Now, being newer, I don't have as much time in it, but in the latest stream I did use it, and with the current buffs it's gotten, it's a lot more fun. I think before the buff I would have gave it like a D.
Yeah.
Um but I would put this one probably because you can cut the legs off of stuff and everything. I'd give it a solid B myself.
Yeah, I'll give it a B as well. I just feel like it needs a little bit more. And the same theory. More ammo.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even if we didn't have as much magazines, just the magazine size being a little
Yeah,
bigger,
if it was
just
just I didn't have to reload it as much, so I can just put it down and just it's a lot better.
yeah. Yeah. I agree. It's fun, but it doesn't excite me. Next weapon we're doing is the Liberator Penetrator. Now, Liberator Penetrator I used for quite a long time with the bots. Um,
Yeah.
but when it comes to fun factor, I mean, even after any reworks, I would throw it as at a C. It it's there. It does the job, but it just doesn't feel fun. Like it's what was it? It started out as a 3 round burst at one point, and it's just
I mean, you can still 3 round this thing. You can still like single fire. You could still full auto this stuff, but
mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's very like high skill cap kind of weapon, and it kind of feels like the entry floor is pretty good, but I didn't have the most fun when I was playing with it.
Yeah. Like I felt like I was getting overrun a lot. I felt like you know, uh, yeah, it's just
People are gonna see a trend with me in mag size with fun.
yeah. So where would you put this one?
I mean, it's got like just a little bit less than the Liberator and the Adjudicators. It's like only 5 rounds more, but like I don't know. It's still in B tier.
B tier. Okay, that's surprising to me.
I would still use it if I had to, but I'd put it in B tier.
Okay.
Granted, there are going to be some lower tier weapons here coming in a little
Mm-hmm.
while.
Right. Uh, Liberator Concussive. Now this weapon, I don't feel like it does much, but caveat to that, I think it's a fun weapon, especially when I was watching you use it, and
Oh yeah,
it was just you had two big baddies completely stun locked.
you knock them around left and right.
Yeah, so I'd put this one in an A tier. Uh, it may not do much, but it's just fun to use, just to stagger things and stop them from doing stuff. So I'll stick it at A tier.
Despite it having the same round count as the Liberator Penetrator, you can single fire this thing, and
Mm-hmm.
30 rounds on single fire, you can really that knockback. You can just keep everything at bay. You can blast limbs off of small stuff. It still does damage when you shoot the right areas.
Oh yeah,
And so I was like, you know what? I had fun using this stuff. I'll put it in A tier.
A tier. Cool. First A tier for
Yeah,
Crash. All
and it's
right.
not quite S tier because it's kind of like it's still lacking a little bit of use cases for me.
Yeah, most definitely. So now I believe we're going into submachine guns. Now there's only two of them as of now until the next Warbond comes out.
Yeah,
I'll start with the Defender because I feel like a lot more people
I've used it and
are
understand it.
using the Defender. Uh, this one's hard because it is a very useful gun. So it's hard to say how fun it is. I really enjoy being able to run and gun, point behind me and shoot it, or being able to use it while carrying stuff. Um, I don't want to give it S tier, but I'm gonna do like I think A is very comfortable because it's got a very high utility use. You can use it in any mission for anything. It packs the punch. It's useful on missions where you got to carry stuff, or if you want to use a riot shield. It's great for
No,
that.
that's why I would use it. I'd pick this up if I wanted to use a riot shield. I'd pick this up just for that.
Right. Well, so What's your opinions about it?
Um, I think it's in the B category for me for fun, but I like that you can use it with the riot shield, and that makes it kind of a little bit more fun. You can be like the SWAT guy, run in there with the shield and a little sidearm. It's
Yeah.
not really a sidearm at that point, but
Yeah, definitely. Now, the knight. I don't think people really use the knight, mainly because
not a
it's,
lot of people have it.
yeah, not a lot of people have it either. So, have you used it at all?
Yeah, yeah. I've used it. I think I've played at least 12 missions with it, and the mag size is at 50 damage. 50. It pumps damage out real good, and it's a whole lot of fun
Mm-hmm.
because its fire rate is almost 1,400 rounds a minute. That's
Yeah.
faster than any machine gun we've got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it just where did my ammo
Reload.
go?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the fun factor is you can remove something really fast, and I would put this thing in an A tier.
An A tier. Okay. Cool. Uh, I haven't used it much at all, so I'm not gonna put it in. I'm just gonna put it right in B, right in halfway, just kind of going off of your description of it. Just being able to
Yeah.
dump an entire magazine into
It's
something.
like 1 second and your whole mag's
Yeah.
gone.
So I'll kind of defer to and trust your judgment on that one, but I'm still gonna just throw it in B, just because I know I like the other SMG better.
Yeah.
Next is the Punisher. Uh,
Ooh.
yeah, Punisher for me again is a very odd one. It's very versatile. It's very useful in both bugs and bots, I believe. Um, but fun factor is the fun factor there. For me, I think this one sits right at C tier. The reason why, it's a shotgun. It does what shotguns do. Um, Being a pump action, it does make things a little bit more exciting because you have that shoot, wait half a second, shoot, wait half a second, and that half a second could change everything. I'm curious to hear your opinion because you seemed more enthusiastic about it than me.
I'd put this at a B tier,
Okay.
but I like that you can just round reload this thing. You can just constantly feed around
Oh
fire,
yeah.
and you can just go back and forth with it, and you're just dumping 60 rounds down range, and then you don't have to feel like you have this lack of time where you're not shooting stuff. And
Right.
so it's a good B, but I don't feel like I'm hitting the most things with it,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm doing the most work with it. But I feel like if I had the constant combo and I had some range, sure, I'm gonna have some fun with it.
Right.
I just need to pair the right armor with it.
Right. Yeah.
So if I need to pair an armor with it, it's not gonna go any higher than B.
Okay. Next, one that I use religiously against bots, the Slugger. Now, the Slugger for me, especially against the bots, is S tier. Now, the reason I think it is S tier for fun is, even though it's a shotgun that shoots slugs, I can basically use it
What's
as
your
a
longest range?
150 meters, one shot in the head on a bruiser. A lot of luck involved, but being able to use this thing in close range against bots and long range against bots, just sitting there being like, ooh, he's pretty far away. I think I can get him. And then just getting that single shot is just so satisfying. Like seeing people freak out. Oh no, there's a lot of bruisers. Bang, one shot. Bang, one shot. Bang, one shot. What bruisers?
Yeah.
So for me, I love this gun. I enjoy using it so much. It's hard for me to pull away from it against bots because I have so much fun using it. What is your opinion?
It's an A tier for me. It's like if you had all the shotgun rounds and they were all condensed in one shot, and you can pop legs off, you can shoot
Mm-hmm.
anywhere you want,
Yep.
and you're doing damage.
Yep.
You're not missing any of your rounds, and I think that's fun. And it's still got the round reload. You can just slam it back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Do the same thing you can with the Punisher. So it's gonna go up a notch
Most
over to
definitely.
A.
Now the next one, the Breaker. Now the Breaker makes me sad because it was one of the first guns. I Now I say first guns to be nerfed, but I do think it was uh justified the nerf because everybody was using it. But this gun was super fun to use. I mean, it was fully automatic. If you had a bunch of stuff in front of you, you just held the button down and just swept across the screen and you took everything out. But now with the nerfs they did with it, you can't do that as much. And I put it equal to the uh, the Punisher, mainly because it's lost a lot of its fun factor because it's just not nearly as useful either. But that's my opinion.
Needs more ammo. Needs more ammo.
Yeah, yeah. You kind of mag dump those things just as quick. So needs more ammo. Is that B or C for you?
C tier.
C
It's
first C
going C
tier.
tier.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
C for C. This gun it needs more ammo.
Yeah. C for send more ammo. Sure, that works. Send with a
C
C.
for I can't reload fast enough to
Can't
have my
reload.
ammo.
Yeah. All right. Next, Breaker Incendiary. Now, I think this is a fun gun. I don't think it shoots as fast as the Breaker. I could be wrong. Um, but
Let me find the fire rate.
yeah, while you do that, I'll keep talking about it.
It's the same. Yeah, it's the same fire
It's
rate
the
as the
same.
breaker.
Okay. Uh, yeah, I enjoy this weapon. You know, you just have that feeling of raining down fire because you can literally watch the rounds, the pellets, you know, go across the map. So if you see a bunch of things far away, you can just rain down fire upon them. Um, just pumping things full of fire. So I'd put this one at B tier. It's a fun gun, but I don't use it that often because I don't know, just better options, more fun options.
This is gonna be an A tier for me.
An A tier. Okay.
Yeah, I I I dump. The ammo doesn't seem to go by too fast. It's got 25 rounds. It's a lot of bullets, as you were saying, dumping it down range. And I mean, you could get a lot of stuff done with it, and it feels great. So A tier. I can use it without any specific armor.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I think for me, I'd probably bump it up to an A if the the pellet spread
was it a
wasn't
little tighter?
it was a little tighter. Yeah, I would feel like it would be more fun because I could do more with it. But since
Start wearing some
it's
double zeros, and maybe
yeah, yeah,
that might do something.
most definitely. But like just uh yeah, it just feel more effective and more fun if I was able to really focus those rounds. It didn't have to be, arm's reach from something. See, the last shotgun in the list,
Got the
which
spray and pray.
is the spray and pray. Now this one's fully automatic, correct?
It's actually a little tiny bit faster than the breaker and the in other incendiary by 30 rounds a minute.
Yeah.
So
I would put this one at an A. I mean, it's not much different from the incendiary, but having that quicker uh, mag dump, like you get anything in front of you and you just hold down the trigger and spray and pray. Uh, just puts a whole nother level of fun to it. I mean, anything automatic is gonna have a higher rate for me,
Yeah.
except the breaker. Poor breaker. What what about you?
For breaker indeed. No, I'd put it in the A tier as well. It's even got an additional round, and it doesn't feel like it's that much more on the spread stuff. And you can take out small targets really fast. Its
Hmm.
projectile speed feels pretty good, so you can use it at a little bit longer range than some of the other stuff in guns, but it's not like you're losing out. So you can fire it a bunch and it removes stuff in your face pretty easily.
Right.
So it's not quite S tier on fun because I wish I could that brought it in a little bit
Yep.
tighter.
Yep. Same. Same.
But
Same. Let's see. Next is the Marksman's rifles. And we're going to start with the Diligence. These weapons these weapons disappoint me. Like these are Marksman's rifles. They should have very large calibers. They should be able to knock things bigger than usual, but they don't. They they they're this game, wants that balance, and it's like this thing has a small mag, but I still have to use most of the mag for a bruiser. It's like I have better
not even
success.
just a bruiser.
Yeah, like
Just to kill the like a little small warrior, you have to tap two bullets just to get his head off.
yeah, I have better uh marksman experience with the slugger, and that's supposed to be a shotgun. I feel like the marksman's rifles should be
It's not
performing.
fun to use.
Yeah, it should be performing like the Slugger does, and if it did, it would be up there with the S tier as well, or maybe A tier because the magazine is really small. But since it doesn't, it's D tier. It
Yeah,
just gets on my nerves.
that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
That's where you're at. Good.
It's D. The diligence is D for diligence.
D for diligence. Yep, D for
That's where it
diligence.
goes.
Yep. Everybody put D for diligence in the comments. Tell us how much you
It's not a
dislike it
fun
as
gun to
well.
use.
Yeah, it's not a fun gun. All right. Next one, which is basically the same thing. We have the diligence counter sniper. Now, it being a counter sniper, you would think same issues. And it's got a scope on it that I think has more of a range on it too. But same issues. It's a sniper, basically. It should pop things quite easy, but it doesn't. So this one also goes at D tier. If I was able to use it not as effective as the anti-material rifle and be able to pop things off from a distance, easy B tier, easy A tier, but I can't even use it like a sniper because I can't kill anything with it. So it's just not fun.
This thing's kind of like the slugger to me, except for it's just got a scope.
Yeah.
So I think this will go in a B tier for me.
Okay.
It does feel pretty good. The only downside is that sometimes I rapid fire this thing off, uh, and then I'm like, oh, I don't like the reload on it.
Yeah. Well, maybe
So I'm
my
like, I'm stuck reloading half the time rather than.
yeah, maybe my indifference will make people upset about it because
I don't know. It's kind of a good gun still, but I feel like if I had the choice of the counter sniper over the slugger,
didn't they
slugger's probably where I would go just because it's got some more power behind it.
didn't they currently buff it a bit too?
They did. They took it up to 140 damage,
Okay.
and so it can actually one tap because it gets bonus damage to headshots and limbs and stuff.
Ah, gotcha. Well, maybe that's the
But
problem. I haven't played with it since its update.
but it still needs a little bit of help.
Right.
It doesn't turn very fast either.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Gotcha.
The slugger turns really fast, but this one does not turn very fast.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna still stick with my D rating
Yep.
though. Next, we have energy weapons. Now, energy weapons are interesting. We'll start with the scythe. We ran the scythe not too long ago.
It's got a learning curve.
It's definitely got a learning curve. I'm not gonna rate it too bad because once you get that learning curve down and you realize you just gotta chop legs off of stuff, it was definitely fun. But I would put it at C tier because chopping limbs off are fun, is cool and everything. But when you're facing a swarm and you need to get rid of that swarm quickly, it just can't do the job. It just can't. And panicking the entire time running around with a scythe isn't as fun as like the spray and pray where I can just hold down the trigger screaming and everything dies, you know. But what do you think?
It's an A tier for me.
A tier, okay. That's interesting.
I've gotten used to this thing with chopping legs off, as you said, and
Gotcha.
it feels a lot of fun crippling a bug and then
Right.
walking away. You go cripple a bot and you walk away.
As it's sitting there saying, "Get back here."
You just beam an arm off of a bot and they're just like just walking at you the whole time. You just chop a couple legs off of a brood commander and they're just sitting there hobbling the whole time like help.
We'll call it a draw.
Yeah.
Okay. Next is the sickle. Now, I might get some hate for this. I'm putting the sickle at B tier. Now, here's why. The sickle is a great weapon. It does the job very well. But for me, I feel like it does a little too well. I'm not saying they should like uh nerf it or anything, but if I want to have fun, this weapon kind of takes the fun out of it because I don't have to worry about ammo that much. I don't have to worry about if this thing is going to do the right amount of damage I need. I mean, it's too good if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. I'm debating between an A tier and a B tier on this thing. Some of the A tier stuff it is fun that you can just show up on a bot patrol and it's just a bunch of conscripts and you just by holding down the trigger and the whole entire mob group they just fall over and that's
Mm-hmm.
fun. That's why I would put it in A. But the reason I don't want to put it in A is because when I'm downrange looking at something, all my shots on that Devastator, doesn't matter which kind, rocket, heavy, regular Devastator, I just cannot seem to land those shots on the leg or head or anything at range. And I'm just hitting plating, and I'm like, oh, you come on,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
I'm not using enough double zeros to make that come happen. Just fight better, but I
Mm-hmm.
just wish that it was a little bit easier to uh, predict where my shots were going to go with it.
Right. Right. So B tier, is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I'm gonna be a B tier for this one.
Okay. Well, I don't feel like I'm gonna get attacked as much. Well,
No, everybody's gonna start hating on Crash.
yeah, half of them are gonna go to you, half of them are gonna go to me, so we're fine. But yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, the rifle we start with, it's automatic. It seems like it feels like it does the same damage, but
Almost has more rounds than a stalwart.
yeah, having to pay attention to your ammo count and nothing is makes the game more fun than when you're shooting and you go, "Oh no, I'm out of ammo. Let me run here real quick and reload." Now, it does have the whole, energy recharge thing, but that thing takes a good minute to really set off. But I'm sure regardless of what we say, people are gonna come after us.
The
Because
sickle
remember,
fanboys out there, let us know what you think.
yeah, just remember, this is about fun, not how good it is. Because
It's it is a good weapon.
it is
It
a
is really
very
good.
good weapon. If we were rating weapons based on their like usability, this thing would be S tier or SSS tier.
Might as well just attach this thing to the rover and call it good.
Yeah, exactly. But this is about fun. Being so good kind of takes the fun out of it. It's like playing Fallout and using console commands, you know? Next, we have explosives. Okay, the Dominator. I'll let you start with this one because I haven't used it too much.
Dominator is a whole lot of fun. Even with the nerf that happened recently, it doesn't feel any different. Um, it it's a chunky sounding gun. It it hits hard. You blast a bunch of stuff. It turns a tiny bit slow, but that really just makes up for it when you're just firing giant blasts of single round ammo down range, and you're just hitting everything.
Right.
It's got a good mag size. It's got a good amount of fun that you're able to push out with it. So this is gonna go up into the A tier.
A tier. Okay. Now, I haven't used this gun since I started playing. Um, I know they did some changes to it, but I'm gonna rate it at B generously. Because when I unlocked it, I was excited. I was like, oh, explosive rounds. This thing should be fun. You know, I get to blow the heads off of those blue brood commanders, and it I don't know, it just didn't live up to my expectations. So it kind of drowned it out. But I haven't used it recently. Now that I understand the game more and the armors more and all that, so that could change my mind. But I'll be generous and put it at B for me.
B
And
is in for bullets are okay.
yeah, B is in boom. And the reason I would also put it at B is because of our next weapon, which is the Eruptor, which is kind of how I expected the Dominator to perform. And I love the Eruptor. It's got me some of my highest kills in game, getting on a high point and just uh, blasting bugs or bots and just watching them fall, uh, quote unquote, accidentally hitting your fellow teammates because they're too close.
Like 40 meters away and then getting snapped by a round.
And it's fun when you have just bodies on the ground and when you still shoot, like all the bodies just shift. They just shift a bit from the shockwave and the explosion. And this gun is fun. I think it was a very good idea that they put a cap on the range of it too, because if I could shoot across the map and hit like the those towers you gotta destroy, it would have been a little too much and would have had the same issue as the scythe. But I mean, running around, being able to plug bug holes, or even uh, the bots manufacturing plants, like it just makes it fun. What do you think?
Uh, I end up killing myself more often with this gun than anything else. I throw myself off edges and
Super fun, right?
uh, yeah, fun is falling into the bugs and being eaten and screaming.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. I put this one at a C for me. I don't have the most fun using it. It's pretty useful, but I feel like it's got too slow of a reload. It doesn't have enough rounds.
Especially now, the rounds they've reduced it even
So
more.
yeah, so I'm putting this down in the C tier for fun.
I can respect that. Next is the crossbow. Now, I'll let you start this one.
I like that they had the amount of damage on it and the area was good on it. I didn't feel like the nerf was necessarily a good or bad thing. I feel like it was yeah, I guess it was a good change in some ways, but I I don't like that I feel like it needs more oomph to it when you fire it out, and so this
Hmm.
one's going straight to D.
Straight to D. Wow. Okay.
This crossbow just I was thinking, yeah, this would be awesome. Get an explosion going off, and it felt like a Nerf crossbow
Right. Yeah. I mean,
that had a large explosion radius, and the effect was awesome after it went off, but it didn't look good.
right.
It didn't look fun to use, and so I got this little pea shooter, and I'm dunk 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 dunk, and then it's just a bunch of tiny little rounds that go out there and throw things around like crazy. But I'm like, where's the explosion? I want the explosion. It's going straight to D.
There's
I was
supposed
disappointed. D for disappointed.
there's supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom. Uh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna put it as D as well. I mean, people were concerned about the eruptor because it's kind of like a bolt action, but I was like, you guys are concerned about that, but you're not concerned about a crossbow. Like a crossbow, when you're being attacked by swarms of things, like yeah, the rounds explode, but like you said, where's the earth-shattering kaboom? You know? So yeah,
It
D.
needs the orbital. It needs the orbital precision strike treatment.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that much, but it, it I
That
mean,
would make it straight to S tier fun. Just good thing, good thing, good thing, good thing. It just
I mean, if the explosions felt like the eruptor, I'd be a little bit more happy with it and probably bump it up to C at least. But I mean, yeah, I
yeah.
same reasons as you, D tier. Um, next is now we're moving into the energy weapons.
The other set of energy weapons. The you want to do the arc types or the more of the plasma types?
Uh, actually, these are like we'll go with the plasma types. So the Scorcher.
Yeah.
So the Scorcher is a very enjoyable gun, but I can do the same thing with a lot more fun with the shoot, I'm drawing a blank on my favorite weapon, the Slugger. So I would put this thing at a B tier. Um, kind of for same reasons that you may have it at B is because of magazine size. Like
Yeah.
I can pop the face off of a bruiser with it pretty easily, but everything else is an issue. Yeah, it's got that explosive damage to it. Um, it's just I don't know. Everyone was harping this weapon up, how great it was and everything, and I tried it and I was like, eh, yeah, it's good and does the job, but I'm reloading a lot and I'd rather use the slugger. What do you think?
I'm gonna put this one at a C tier for fun. It's not enough ammo. Not I'm reloading all the time, and sometimes I blow myself up. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've blown myself up quite a few times too.
and
Yeah.
I don't like it when I blow myself up with these guns.
Let's see. Next is the Punisher Plasma. Now, where would I place this one? I, 'Cause I know some people swear by it. It can be a decent weapon, but I'm putting this one at D. Now, before I get attacked by people, let me explain why. I'm putting this one at D because it it performs like a grenade launcher, but it has almost no range. Like the thing's
Well,
got to
the
be
aim range. I mean, you could still get pretty good range out of it, but actually hitting stuff at the range.
yeah, exactly. Like to be accurate with this thing is tough. And, you got to like shoot at your ship in the sky just to get it some distance. So and I'm sure there's a learning curve behind it, but for me it's just not that fun of a gun. It's just not. What about you?
This one's gonna go to an A tier for me.
A tier, complete opposite. Okay.
and the reasons is because I can bombard a bunch of stuff out there in the distance and feel like I'm being this mortar emplacement. Whether I hit things or not, being useful is another thing. But I like being able to fire them out in range and you know cause a little bit of explosions out in the distance. And
Right.
I think that's why it puts me up in the A tier, even if it doesn't have. It only has 8 mags and a few rounds that you put with it. I mean, you got like 8 shots per
Mm-hmm.
8. So I mean, you only has like 64 rounds in total, but
Yeah.
it feels pretty good to use. And I have a lot of fun using it.
And when you say
So
that,
it's really gonna
feeling like an old mortar, I feel like that would be a really cool weapon stratagem. Like a little
a
small
little mortar
portable
emplacement that
mortar.
you can.
Yeah. One you can shoot yourself, but you can shoot faster with somebody else. Yeah.
Someone's sitting there on a little bicycle behind it, loading the rounds.
Yeah. Uh, then we have, let's see. Last we have the Blitzer. Now, I don't have much use with the Blitzer, but we did use it in our last stream,
Yeah,
and I enjoyed it. It was fun. How quick you're able to shoot it off, blast things. It won't always take things out, but the second shot, it's for sure gonna take things out. Sometimes you watch uh those arcs hit multiple things. Sometimes you watch it focus down on one poor soul and take it out real quick. I would put this thing at A because it's like a spray and pray but with electricity for me.
yeah.
What about you?
This is an S tier for me.
S tier. I knew that was coming. I didn't want to ruin
I
it for anybody. I just knew it was gonna be S tier for you.
so this gun is it's so versatile and I can take it for so many situations and I have a lot of fun using it. And I had a good time enjoying it beforehand, before the 50% fire rate buff. But now that it's got this fire rate, I'm just like, yeah, let's go. Let's just take out the whole group all at once. And next, fire, fire, fire. I can just backpedal all day with this thing. I can cut corners. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a brood commander or a hive guard. I mean, everything takes damage from this thing.
Right.
I mean, sure, I have to pick up something else for like the heavier targets, but I mean, you can stun lock most things as well. You have a what's it called? The stalkers start running at you, and it's never gonna reach you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's never gonna reach you, and you're just like, ha ha ha.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna keep pressing left click.
Yeah. And
So
because I like to interact with things short and long range, that's like the only reason I don't have it in S tier.
you can shoot things out to 50 with the right armor set with this
Yeah,
thing.
that is true. That is true, but I can't reach out and touch things like, my slugger. But we were going to do the secondaries with these, but we're kind of running out of space on some of these. Yeah.
Right.
So, I think we'll stick with this list. It's interesting looking
All the
at this.
primaries.
Yeah, looking at these primary weapons. Like I have a very obvious, uh, very almost even look on weapons. I have a very few S tier, and then it's just like four, about five on each rank, and then you like almost every weapon.
I love the weapons in this game. They're
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. You enjoy almost every weapon, and then you have your favorite, and then yeah, I mean, besides the marksman rifle and the crossbow, uh, just everything has a fun factor for you.
And they're all different use cases, and just depending on the day, I'll pick up a different weapon and run with it.
Yep,
So
yep, yep. But I'm looking forward to using like the adjudicator more, because that was a fun weapon. It hits good. I need to give the other SMG a try. I can't wait for the new SMG to come out. I'm really
Oh,
curious how
I
that
am
one.
I am I am curious to see how well this is going to perform
Yeah.
because it's a 7.2
Mm-hmm.
and it's called the Pummeler,
The
which means
pummeler.
this thing is going to be very punchy as a machine gun,
Yeah.
a
Yep.
submachine gun.
Yep. Yep. I mean, I think I read some kind of description somewhere where it was talking about, a lot of stopping power, just like how you
What's
can.
the? Let me read the one on PlayStation here
Yeah.
for
Well,
the Pummeler. A slower rate of fire than your other SMGs, but these concussive rounds will leave your enemies dazed, confused, and still very ugly.
yeah, so
So
it's probably similar to the Liberator explosive where you'll be able to just stun the enemies right there. But instead of one, you could probably do like 10 since it's probably got a nice large
imagine
magazine
getting your
size.
friend with the Liberator concussive, and you've got the Pummeler here, and you're just like, tick, 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 tick,
Oh
tick,
yeah,
everything's
just
just
nothing's moving.
taking hits.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited. I the You got the new SMG, you got the battle rifle looking Halo weapon.
You
Finally
think that's
a blue
a
armor set
tenderizer?
finally. Yeah. Yeah. That one's probably going to be a limb cutter too. Yeah. Yeah, our first legit blue armor set. I'm excited for that so we can finally get some testing in that.
Yeah, I found a few other sources of blue on some of the other armors, so I just need to compare it against and see how well we're at.
Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Definitely. But do you have anything else you'd like to say, Crash?
Um, no, I'm excited for the new stuff, and hopefully we'll have more fun with the new weapons and shoot some bots and bugs up.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe add them to the list at some point.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I'll work on making the list better usable. Find some way to do that. But yeah, tell us if you have any S tier and D tier. What is your favorite weapons? What weapons do you hate because they're no fun? But until then, see you guys later.
Have fun.